My name is Rachel Kiddell-Monroe. I was head of mission for Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, in Goma and Rwanda during the Rwandan Genocide in 1994. There's a picture that I have which is of a bunch of people carrying a woman in a stretcher with a huge machete wound on her shoulder. And she was one of the few survivors that came out of Rwanda into DRC. It took, on a personal level, it took many, many years for me to be able to even speak about Rwanda. I saw other people being able to do it, and I always sort of wondered, how do they do that? How can they talk about it? And for me, I sort of had this little box in my head that at some point I just closed it because I just couldn't really deal with it all. There's so much guilt, especially I was, standing in Goma, no one was coming to Goma, and I knew what was happening just on the other side of that little border post that I stood next to every day. And the guilt of not being able to actually do something, of not being able to go in, is pretty overwhelming. So it's taken me all this time to really be able to say, okay, now I'm ready to talk about it. And that's 20 years later. It was really amazing to go back to Rwanda, to see this now as a country that has really got back onto its feet. And that now, after 20 years, it's really become a place that's busy and active and is booming. The economy is growing. And then I look at a place like DRC where nothing is happening. You realize the difference that international attention can make, that international investment and focus on a country. It's dangerous sometimes to do it, but it's so important. So that's a lesson that I've learned, is that solidarity, that being with people and that speaking out is really, really critical.